One scene that season 3 quickly blows right past is in chapter 100, when Seven, the merino sheep, is introduced as a character with a shattered heart and a compulsive habit of putting herself in danger. For example, by habitually taking the mixed subway cars, where she will meet with large carnivores. In doing this, she ends up crammed next to Legoshi before they officially meet. She pats her cheeks because this apparently means eat me. Legoshi, ever the gentleman, but not averse to repelling those weaker than him when necessary, shoves Seven off the train car and, a bit weirdly, tells her she's being disrespectful. Maybe I like this scene because Beastars creator Paru Itagaki has written that it was based on something she really did in high school. I had a quarrel with a friend over something trivial. Like Seven, I wasn't aware that my heart had been shattered. I was sitting in the train on the way home from school one day when a man with a large build and glassy eyes came and stood in front of me. All of a sudden, I thought, I wish this man would kidnap me. I was hoping my friend would worry about me if I were kidnapped, but the main reason is that I wanted to run away from my problems. Now that we know the inspiration for this scene, what does it do for Seven's character? It shows a kind of nihilism I noticed in many of Paru's characters in the manga. A frequent plot point is for them to put themselves in danger, only to be reminded of the value of their own individual lives. The suicidal streak in the manga version of Seven seems in conflict with her struggles elsewhere. She does know her value, but carnivores tend not to see it, with sexism and sizeism adding to their speciesism. Her career is central to her self-regard, and that's probably why the anime stays focused on this part of her life.
Your shoes are a little old-fashioned for a teenager. You know, I actually work for that brand.
What? Is that right? Well, keep up the good work.
Once we learn that this scene was based on something Paru did as a teenager, it makes sense both why this scene was included in manga and why it feels out of character for Seven, who's a grown woman. I was a bit puzzled about why Legoshi tells Seven she was being disrespectful and why it upsets her so much. In her letter, though, Paru explains that it's related to a kind of prejudice. I was so desperate that I looked the man straight in the eye. I even smiled slightly at him. Come to think of it, I was making assumptions about this man as well as disrespecting him. I regretted my actions. That's why I had Legoshi rebuke Seven by saying you're being disrespectful and then push her out of the train. In this respect, the rudeness and the prejudice theme of the scene does survive in the anime, when Legoshi tells Seven he was being rude for his patronizing attempt to stick up for her at the shoe store.
I acted without thinking, and that was rude.
Just let it go.
Legoshi was also being prejudiced in that scene, but in a more complex way than the cliche don't judge a book by its cover. It feels more in character for Legoshi to overcompensate and apologize than for Seven to self-destructively try to escape from her problems. Nonetheless, there's something wonderfully urban about this scene. The city is a big, anonymous place compared to the Cherryton School, and shows how new all this is to Legoshi. The cheek patting also establishes some interspecies etiquette, which is an interesting bit of world building. Alas, it is lost to time.